Hi. Last time in our doing of the book John Wenham, The Goodness of God, we left off with two questions. Does the New Testament replace the Old Testament? And is there continuity between the Old Testament and New Testament revelations? Here are John Wenham's comments under the subtitle, The New Testament Underlines the Old. It is worth noticing, too, how often specific Old Testament difficulties are taken up, reaffirmed, and then embodied in the teaching of the New, several times by our Lord Himself. Again and again, the most unpleasant characters and the most unpleasant incidents of the Old Testament are adopted by the New, without apology and without mitigation, sometimes to repeat an old lesson, sometimes to teach a new lesson, more severe than the first. It is not only in the Old Testament that Rahab, Samson, and Jephthah are regarded as examples of faith, but also in the New. Excuse me. The offering of Isaac may present difficulties to the modern reader of the Old Testament, but the New Testament accepts it as a supreme example of both faith and works. Is the God of the Old Testament a jealous God? So is the God of the New. Shall we provoke the Lord to jealousy? From 1 Corinthians. Is the God of the Old Testament a God of vengeance? So is He in the New. Vengeance is mine, I will repay. Re-echo Romans and Hebrews. The Lord is an avenger, says 1 Thessalonians. Does the law of Moses demand death without mercy for the transgressor? How much worse punishment, asks the New, will be deserved by a man who has spurned the Son of God? The flood, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the various disasters in the wilderness seem to have made a particular impression on the Apostolic Church, partly doubtless because our Lord Himself used them to illustrate His teaching on judgment and perdition. He refers to the flood in 2 passages and to Sodom in 4. He compares the death from serpent bite with the perishing wrought by unbelief. In every case, there is no softening of the Old Testament teaching, but the historical judgments are taken as illustrations of the even more solemn judgments of the age to come. And that last piece reminded me of the Apostle Paul, who also talked about the reason for the things that happened in the Old Testament. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, I thought we would read his comments. He says in verses 1 to 13, "For I do not want you to be ignorant of the fact, brothers, that our forefathers were all under the cloud, and that they all passed through the sea. They were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. They all ate the same spiritual food and drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank from the spiritual rock that accompanied them, and that rock was Christ. Nevertheless, God was not pleased with most of them, and their bodies were scattered over the desert. Now these things occurred as examples to keep us from setting our hearts on evil things as they did. Do not be idolaters, as some of them were. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and got up to indulge in pagan revelry. We should not commit sexual immorality, as some of them did, and in one day 23,000 of them died. We should not test the Lord, as some of them did, and were killed by snakes. And do not grumble, as some of them did, and were killed by the destroying angel. These things happened to them as examples and were written down as warnings for us, on whom the fulfillment of the ages has come. So if you think you are standing firm, be careful that you don't fall. No temptation has seized you except what is common to men. God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can stand up under it. When I left the Witnesses, I reread the Bible. I shouldn't say reread, because I don't know if I ever read through the whole Bible as a witness. But I read both Old and New Testament. And what I did find, without Watchtower glasses, that there was a continuity from the Old to the New that I had not seen before. And it was a marvelous continuity. The continuity was God's grace, divine grace. Throughout the two Testaments, you see that God is faithful and we are unfaithful. We are sinners, but God provides. He provides a way out. The next time we will be dealing with providence. So Wenham discusses that as a stumbling block to people. I'm going to link the first of a series that I did called Hope, which gives you a tracing of the prophecy of Old Testament right through the prophecies through the Old Testament from Abraham all the way to the Apostle Paul. Repeated promises of God's faithfulness. And the other series that I'm going to give you the first of the series, and that is one that David did called The Sins of the Fathers, where he traces the examples of the people that we call people of faith: Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, David, Solomon. So with the first one, you'll only get some of those people. So there's 3 in that series, The Sins of the Fathers, that you can follow. At the end of each video, there's a picture that you can click on, and then you get the next part. The Hope series, though, is 14 different videos. But if you want to follow them, at the end of each session, you'll see that you can click on a picture and get the next one. So next time, the stumbling block of providence.